Alright, we are back, and this plate has sat out for about an hour and a half, maybe two. I'm not going to take all these little crumbs off of my signature yet because it's not dry enough, and I'm just going to smudge it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bat and flip the whole thing over. There we go, and pull the mold out. Now here is my plate that I constructed, and I'm just going to start smoothing now. I'm going to grab a sponge, and there's my water, and I'm going to start smoothing. If this is really uneven, if your rim is super duper uneven, you can take a Sureform and you can shave a little. You can just shave a little. The Sureforms go in one direction. You can just shave wherever you need it. But this plate is luckily looking pretty good, so I'm going to round my edges. You never want edges, sharp edges, so I'm going to round these edges really nicely. All the way around. That's when this banding wheel really comes in handy, so that I can just spin it and it makes cleanup a lot easier. We also have, let's see if I can hold it here. We also have in the studio these guys. They're for the rim. They come as a set with the foot maker. And I could use this to round my rim if I wanted to, or just a sponge. You just basically are putting the little opening, it looks like a little Pac-Man almost, little mouth, and I'm putting it on the rim and running it along. You still have to use your sponge no matter what. Sponge is the key. And now this plate is going to set up for a little bit. Actually, you know, it's pretty dry, so I'm going to go ahead and begin my process. I have chosen an image, and I've put it onto tracing paper right here. I'm doing an anatomical heart. I just traced it off my computer screen. I gave myself some guide marks on my tracing paper so that I was sure that it was going to be the right size. So I put my tracing paper on my plate first. I'll show you. So here's my guide marks. Right there's one, and there's the other. So that I could make sure that this was going to fit properly. All right, so we are back. My plate is finished. I've taken it off the mold and I've smoothed it out really well. I started with a sponge, and then I hit it with this rim smoother. You just run it along, turning your banding wheel. That works really well. And now I'm ready to begin my glazing process. I'm going to go ahead and use black. You do not have to use black. You can use a different color if you like, but it needs to be dark enough that it's going to be a good contrast with the color of your clay. This is white clay. So I'm using black myself, but you can use blue, you could use purple, you could use red, and I'm going to begin glazing the entire thing. I'm going to do my rim and the base, so make sure you put lots of glaze on here. This is going to make your plate a little bit wetter again. And because it's not fired, it's also going to take a while to dry. So make sure you have enough time at the end of class so that you are not sitting around waiting for your plate to dry. one nice juicy layer, and then we'll let it dry. You can see that it starts to drying because it starts to lose its shine. So I'm going to leave it sitting here. I'm going to do this 3 times. It's got to dry 100% before you apply your next layer. Make sure it's non-glossy underglaze, and we'll be back.